This is what like 4 people in chat wanted. What is this? Why did we want this? We're just gonna show this off. This didn't come in like a carrying case. This came in bubble wrap and stuff because it's a prototype. I will also not be keeping the prototype, but Mr. Bull is having us look at this today, Bull and Gondo. So we'll consider this a sponsored stream. It's pretty small. It's pretty compact. Just like the name suggests, it's a Compact Ergo. Like if someone's gonna sit here and argue with me that this is not the most compact keyboard we've ever looked at, I think I'd probably win the argument because I don't think I've seen a keyboard like this yet. I really don't. I don't think I've seen a left side numpad Alice style Ergo keyboard. It's not that compact. Okay, maybe you guys got me. Maybe it's not that compact. This is huge. I don't think I've seen this layout, but it's by 2 people that I very much love in this hobby, being Bull and Gondo. I adore them both, and I think this is a cool looking keyboard. So from the side view, and listen, I know right away, guys, one of the big things that we'll probably bring up during the stream is why would you buy this over, say, the Neo Ergo? Plain and simple, internal weight. You have some adhesive feet. Matter of preference. Obviously, this is a super niche layout. The Neo Ergo is also going to be a project that is most likely going to be sold in large quantities. So I don't think that it's a fair comparison to say this versus the Neo Ergo, because we're talking about small batch stuff by designers who don't have access to large factories like that versus big brands who can do that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's a fair comparison. And I think when you think of scaling of what they're doing at like QWERTY keys and all that stuff, it's not fair. I love this pink, by the way. There's 4 colors for this keyboard. So just to read off some stats of the keyboard, it's 405 for the hot swap, 400 for the solder. There's going to be a 50 unit minimum, 200 max to ensure their timelines, which I think that's important. It's going to be Bull keyboard for worldwide, and then the UK/EU will be prototypist. This will run from June 1st to June 30th, 3 to 5 month fulfillment time. I trust Bull, I trust Gondo. I also very much trust prototypist. There's going to be Cherry Blossom, which is this. There's going to be a Cobalt Blue. Cardinal. Sparkle Black Coat will be the final color. I don't know what Sparkle Black Coat's going to look like. And it didn't really have any listings on front height and stuff, but we'll take a look. We'll measure it all up. Let's see how the side profile looks. So for a side profile, it's your standard. Like, this is not anything new when it comes to side profiles here. It does have a very visible seam, which is awesome. Anyone who's kind of into that design will probably really like this. It does actually look like this is a pretty low front height, and I'm very curious now. So in the center, it looks to be about 18, if I'm not mistaken. And then on the edge over here, 19 and a half. I like the design though. Let's take a look at the PCB. So the cool thing is when you're working with Gondo, you get great Gondo PCBs too. I'm a big fan of Mr. Gondo's PCBs. So let's take a look at this thing. It's not really compact, is it? I do like this too. This is something I actually very much appreciate, by the way, is the LEDs. You don't need to do any sort of soldering in for your own diodes. The only reason I say that is because, I don't know why, every time I solder in diodes, but the ones that I have like lying around the house, I think they're really terrible. And I always have to order better ones. Yeah, and these are also addressable too, which is really cool. That's awesome. But yeah, gonna be a fun layout. You can flip-flop the numpad too, which is freaking awesome. The only thing I noticed about this board, which I don't know how they'd make it work. Well, actually I do know how they'd make it work, but not for this particular plate. I noticed there wasn't a split backspace option. That would probably be the only thing, but it's on the PCB, just not on the plate. I don't know if that's gonna be something they offer in the future, but no split backspace there. And then, in case it didn't have enough stuff, the GB has more compatibility to plate. Perfect. So you guys heard it from Bull then. The group buy will have more plate options. And then we have our little knob that we'll solder in over here. I will admit, I'm a little sad that Gondo didn't put on his rotary encoder, the joystick, on this particular board, but I don't think it needs it. I think this is already enough going on with this board. So I think this is going to be a fun one. I hope this does well too, because again, I really respect both of them. Actually, you know what we'll do before we get into doing stabs? Let's take this apart too and look on the inside. It does have a bit of weight to it as well. Is the name of this board deliberately designed to be impossible to Google? Compact Ergo? Just type in Compact Ergo. I was getting it on first, I think the first 3 results were the keyboard for me. You know, that's actually something I don't really talk about, is the SEO of keyboards. I don't know why, it always fascinates me when you just can't Google something. So I find it very awesome when, you know, a designer or brand will be on top of making sure that the board has a SEO, you know, Googleable name. But all right, let's take a look at the inside weight over here. Plain and simple. I like how the weight is actually put just over the alpha area. And then it looks like we put the daughter board at the bottom there, and it kind of feeds through this. We do have 3 large Phillips screws. I don't know if that's possible at this point, Bull, but to switch the screws to something else. I don't know if that's on the to-do list there. And then we got your logo and Gondo's logo there. Very cool. I wonder how this is going to sound with no weight underneath the numpad. Wow, one big plate. Man, I don't even know what keycaps that we're going to be using for this today. I will say personally, if I'm doing like really large, full-scale, full-size, you know, style boards, I do like when plates are kind of split up, but if done right with a top mount, you can probably get some really nice sound signatures out of this. Also, I just realized that these are here. These are nice, so they act as an alignment, and I don't know if this would double as like a force break, but they're like these little silicone balls. Nixies are still goated. I think they'll be nice here. Full sending pink hype in this hobby makes me so warm and fuzzy. Dude, let me tell you, I think this hobby has some of the nicest color palettes in all the hobbies I've ever been in. It's not just like the standard few color palettes you might find. You get some like pretty insane color palettes here. PCB is done. Pink dyed Nixies are installed. Soldering has been completed. I think I did all this soldering. All right, so now let's get the case. Are these HMX switches? Oh no, these are the Nixies. They're dyed Nixies. What keycaps are you thinking, Alex? I'm told that I'm supposed to use Darling. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. It's like a Greg version of using Darling. Greg plus Darling equals Gregling. I feel like it's not suiting of the name, you know? Also, Bull, sorry, I think I missed it from earlier. These little orange silicone stoppers, whatever you want to call them. These, I guess they're just tadpoles. Other than for, I guess, an alignment, are they technically like a force break? I know I asked earlier, you might have answered, but I probably missed the chat. A bit of force break? Okay. I like that. That's a really thoughtful thing to do. Oh, the switches look so good on this. Dude, this looks so nice. I actually like the stabs being a little bit of a different color. Kind of gives it some visual contrast. Yeah, it also has a knob, which is a fun little addition to this too. This turned out so darn nice. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know where the hell it is. Daifuku works too. That might be a little bit more helpful. How about Hazakura? Can we just use that? I feel like that might be easier for me to find. Oh no, Hazakura might not work. Guys, can I just pick a set and be done with it today? I don't know where Darling is. No, I just don't know where it is. I have no idea. I just remembered something. Alright, you guys are f***ing lucky I have this here. Had a decent set on this board, Sag. I know. I think I'm gonna actually, unfortunately, ban picking keycap sets. It's gonna be up to me now. No more people deciding things. This is what like 4 people in chat wanted. What is this? Why did we want this? Bull, you know what, Bull? Bull, listen here, Bull. I will take this apart right now. I will take the face off and put the rest of Darling on this. Bull, I'm leaving this up to you, Bull. You can supersede everyone who put points towards this and wanted this. Do it. This has to be one of the ugliest combinations of sets we've ever put on this board, or any board in this stream. Bull coming in clutch. Designer has spoken. No, we haven't scammed. I put all the keycaps on for you, and that was it. That was all. This was terrible. I can already tell you, this sounds really good. Let me put the knob on too. I was a little, like personally, I was a little concerned that this would sound a little bit resonant with the aluminum plate and Nixies because it's a, it's a brighter switch. But you know what? Have faith in Bull. Have faith in Gondo. Every Gondo board too, that Project Gondo has kind of worked on, I've had very good experiences with. So here's what it looks like, in case you guys wanted to see. It's like a totally different board now that we have proper keycaps on it. Ooh, this is going to sound really good. The pink is a perfect match for this set, by the way. It looks great with Darling on it. So again, just to kind of go over some of the stuff here, it does have a bunch of different plates you can pick from. The front height in the middle is actually pretty low. What was it again? I think we found out it's like, what, almost 18 mil, and then it kind of raises up a little bit towards the sides, but you can even tell with the desk pad, my wrists do not have the need to come off of the desk, which is great. Again, this is more of a personal preference thing, but I do feel like it is more comfortable when you don't have to float your wrists as much. So it does feel like a top mount, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to start typing on this, and I have a feeling this is not going to sound like a top mount. With the exception of like what, the Neo Ergo, I wouldn't expect poppy spacebar sounds off of any Alice keyboard, by the way. And we're not even using the proper spacebars, we're using shift keys. Let's try it off the desk. A lot more bass. I really like it off the desk pad. It just has that like extra oomph to it. The alphas are incredibly full. Both of them are incredibly full. Like, damn, that sounds so bassy. I do have the Neo Ergo. I think it's kind of a weird comparison to do, but I think if you guys wanted to hear the difference, I can make that happen. All right, so the Neo Ergo, let's just move this. Again, very different configuration entirely, but they're very different. This has a definite brighter sound. This is gonna be kind of hard to replicate for the Ergo. Listen to this. Yeah, it's definitely plateless as well, but I don't think the gasket mount configuration in the Ergo will be able to replicate what this sounds like in top mount. So even if we were to go with an aluminum plate, I really don't think this can get to this level of like deepness in this particular board. Hi Kenny, welcome back. Even the F keys sound phenomenal on this. Maybe the only thing really that the Ergo has going on more is the space bars, but this is fantastic. And I will say again, because of the front height here, you probably won't need something like a wrist rest. Damn. Numpad sound? Ooh, my stomach growled. See, this is the interesting part about this board right now. The numpad sounds exactly what I thought it was going to sound like. It's going to have a slight bit of tinniness to it. Do you guys hear that? Because there's no weight underneath the numpad. It's not a bad sound by any means, but this is what I expected out of the top mount for the entire board. So it's interesting to see that these are very deep sounding, while this is more of that top mount I expected. It still sounds great though. We can't say it sounds bad at all. A little different from the rest of the board. Bowl, Gondo, it sounds fantastic. It looks great too. Comfort level wise, this is also fantastic. I guess maybe I'm not 100% used to having a top mount aluminum plate Nixie build. Like the depth on the alpha keys are fantastic. This might sound like a weird thing to compare it to, but I would almost say that this sounds like some sort of other mounting style that I would get this kind of sound profile from. I'm very impressed, very, very impressed. Again, usually top mount aluminum has a slight bit more of a metallic-y resonance to it, so imagine that with butter browns. This with tactiles would be an insanely deep keyboard. Turned out great. Bull, this turned out fantastic. Gondo, you should be proud as well. I don't really have any like negatives for this board at all. I think the only thing perhaps, I think I personally would have liked to see the numpad have some sort of piece of brass or weight underneath it too, just so it can kind of sound like the rest of the board. But I also think it's nice to have a little bit of a difference there, I guess. Maybe that's my only criticism for this entire project, but I feel like it's kind of it's a whatever thing. Because again, it's not like it sounds bad, it's just different. Other than that, fantastic board. Oh yes, the Phillips screws as well, but I think Bull said that that's not going to be in the final rendition. I even think when I said the plate, Bull said that's not in the final rendition as well. 400 for this kind of board is amazing, not going to lie. I think this is a very fair price. From what I read as well on the Keycaps, Gondo mentioned that the margins on this board are very slim anyways, like extremely slim. So you can tell this is something that they're doing just because they want to have this get done, which is awesome. And that for me makes the project even a little bit more special, you know. Bye everyone, and see you later. Bye-bye.